What's up, car nerds? Welcome back to part 2 of the Sultan of Brunei episodes. I'm Jay.
Kevin.
And let's get this started off. Let's just continue where we left off, I guess. This is part 2, so you guys are probably very excited for this episode because it is going to be a very good one. We dive into some pretty cool concept, one of one, not even known to the world, apparently, cars. So this will be pretty cool. Do you want to kick us off?
Yeah, so first episode we explored, first of all, what is the country Brunei, and second of all, the just sheer amount of cars in his collection, just how crazy it is. And in today's episode, we're going to look at the one-off, I guess designed by him, or he probably worked with Ferrari team and Bentley and all those companies to kind of design these cars to his own liking. And it's very... They're strange cars, we'll say that, because I guess that's what he wanted at the time. And we'll share the pictures of the cars because it's hard to kind of describe what they look like.
Yeah,
because they don't.
We'll put them up on the screen, or if you're listening to this, you can go watch it on YouTube, or you can kind of imagine it in your head, I guess.
Yeah, and we'll put it on their Instagram too.
Yeah, so you guys can check the
Fuel for Thought _podcast.
Yeah, make sure to follow us. We have some dank memes on there too, so.
Some questionable memes, but yeah. So let's dive right into the first one, which is, I think, my favorite. My favorite one-off. It is called the Ferrari F90.
Looking at it, I kind of agree with you. This one, it's interesting because when you look at it, you can't tell if it's an old car or a new car. It looks like it could be from 2015, but also it could be from 1985. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it kind of reminds me. It's a movie with a robot that has kind of the same fake smile with the grill.
I don't know which one you're talking about, but I can see it.
It's not WALL-E, it's some I would have to look it up.
Yeah.
It just looks like a robot faking a smile. Futurama.
Oh,
Bender. Yeah. That's what it looks like to me.
That is what it looks like. That's kind of funny.
And the back is kind of like a barchetta, where the wheels kind of covered, it sweeps to the back.
Yeah, like the Honda Clarity, what it used to be.
Yes.
Hideous looking thing. But yeah, interesting design.
Yeah, this car is based off the Testarossa, Ferrari Testarossa.
I kind of see that.
And the common theme here with all these cars is it's based on a chassis. Nothing's been changed in terms of power, drive, everything, transmission, everything's stock. It's essentially just a rebodied car. Even the interior, I think, for the most part, is about the same.
Interesting.
So yeah, this one, same engine as the Ferrari Testarossa, which is the flat 12.
Yeah.
And this, in total, 6 were built. And of course, every single one was delivered to him.
That's insane.
And this is the one we were talking about the last episode, where it took Ferrari 18 years to acknowledge even the existence and these being built.
I don't even know why that would be in their best interest. It's a pretty cool looking car. Why wouldn't you want to market it? I guess maybe because there is no demand for it. There can't be demand for it because it's all owned by him. Yeah,
it's interesting. I was thinking because it's unusual in terms of Ferrari design. It's not as aggressive. It's more curvy.
That's true.
Maybe they were embarrassed by it.
Yeah, maybe they're good thing this guy has all of them because it's fugly and we don't really want it. So
yeah, because it's not really the Ferrari brand, I guess.
Yeah, it's a bit of a Quasimodo, a bit of a mix of two different kinds of cars, which is kind of confusing. I could see that.
Yeah, but this is the one, I think, out of all these that we're going to explore, the one I would love to see the most in, let's say, public roads and stuff, because it's so unlike anything. It's almost like a UFO.
It kind of is. Yeah, kind of reminds me a little bit of the Disco Volante. Do you remember that Top Gear episode? It's like that Alfa Romeo spin-off. It was like a custom made.
Yeah.
What's the word? What's that? What's the one called? The V8. The one with the V8.
8C.
8C. Yeah. It's like a spin-off of that one, or maybe a 4C. I'm not sure, but. The thing looks so crazy. It looks even crazier than this, actually. But that's kind of what the front end reminds me of, too.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, it's true.
That's a cool sounding car, too.
So, yeah, this one, pretty cool car. Would love to see it rolling around. There's not that many pictures.
This looks completely it's almost painted.
Yeah, I think it might be a render. But this is like the 80s, so that's probably why it's such like trashy.
Yeah, is that when it was technically released?
I think more 90s. Like early 90s is probably when it was built.
Okay. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. If you look at the wheels, and I guess like the rear wheel cover, whatever you called it before, that's definitely 90s. Because I don't think they really do that anymore, at least for style purposes.
Not really. Well, Pagani did it a few years ago and then pissed a lot of people off.
Exactly, yeah. It's just kind of weird.
So then the next one, this one is probably the craziest.
Really?
So we know Bentley, like most people know Bentley makes was it Bentayga?
Yeah.
Yeah, and in everyone's eyes, this was the first production SUV Bentley ever did.
Really?
But technically, it wasn't. Bentley, and again, this is another one where Bentley didn't really acknowledge this car ever existing.
Yeah.
But it wasn't their first. The first one was the Dominator, which was a Bentley specifically built for the Sultan of Brunei.
So weird. Also, what the hell is that name? Dominator? That does not go with their brand.
Not really. It's completely out of their territory.
Yeah.
And I feel like he got ripped off on this. So the car itself, in my opinion, kind of looks cool. Like the front end borrows from kind of like I don't want to say the, what is it, Continental
GT.
Yeah, it's kind of a mix between Aston Martin and Bentley. The front end and the back end is just, I don't know.
It's kind of plain.
Yeah, there's a cool chrome strip. The taillights, I think, are borrowed from the Turbo R or something, the Bentley, another Bentley model. And the engine itself was, so we don't know like the exact numbers because it's not ever been released.
Yeah.
But people are suspecting it's the V8 from the Range Rover.
That would make sense.
And probably the frame and everything else. So it's just like kind of a rebadged Bentley. And in total, 6 were built. And it's rumored that each model was $4.6 million.
I mean, we'll put a picture up, but this thing is nothing special to look at, really. Like, for that price point, like,
not really. So, we know that he's like a huge collector of Bentleys, and he loves the interiors of Bentleys because they're comfy.
Right.
So, I guess when you're like a billionaire with infinite amounts of money, what do?
You just buy infinite Bentleys.
Yeah, and then have Bentley build you an SUV because...
Yeah. Why the hell not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's interesting. I kind of like the look, but also kind of don't, because like...
Yeah, it's not my thing either.
It really does look like a Range Rover.
It does.
In the end.
And like, it is a bit of an older style. Like, obviously this is probably also 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah.
Like, it's I don't know. It looks very, very ordinary, very bland. Nothing too eye-catching about it, I would say.
Yeah, and definitely not worth the price tag.
No, for sure. 4.6 is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But again, it was one of 6, so maybe that's why.
Yeah, well, you have to kind of... That's to be expected when you approach a manufacturer to like, build, research, design, and then like go in production with a car. You're gonna expect a big price tag.
Yeah, and obviously the price tag goes down because it's called like economies of scale. So it's like the more you produce, the less the initial cost actually costs because you can divide it among all the units that you're producing. But if you only produce 6, it's gonna have to be split into 6, really. So that makes sense that it's more expensive, of course.
And obviously, I'm sure Bentley, Ferrari, any of the manufacturers here took very fat margins on these.
Yeah, because they knew they could.
Yeah, I'm sure he went in there with like a checkbook. So like, I want this, make it happen.
Yeah, name your price. Like, do what you want.
Exactly.
Just give me the check.
And that's why, especially Ferrari, that's why they did it. Because like in the 90s, Ferrari, they were doing well, but they're not the power they're doing today. So if someone comes in with like an opportunity for them to make, let's say, $10 million profit,
that's what I mean.
You're gonna take it.
Very minimal like resource, like.
Yeah, they never even had to acknowledge this. This is not even. They could have just been like, take a check, never acknowledge, put their name on it. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly. And who knows? I'm really curious now, actually, how much this might have even contributed to Ferrari's success. Because like if they had more like money to funnel into like the production of, like, I don't know, like the Enzo or something, like that can go a long way. Especially, he bought all 6 of whatever. There's 6 of the Bentley, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean that's what, 5 times 6, it's $30 million. So I mean that can stretch a long way in terms of like research and development and like building out cars. So that could be interesting. I don't know how we'd ever find that out, but
and most important, making the shareholders happy.
Of course, yeah. That's what it's all about, baby.
Yeah. So the next concept, this was the successor. So this was BMW trying to success the M1, the famous BMW M1.
Yep.
Super cool car. This concept, the M12, questionable. It looks weird, especially the back.
M12. I like that.
Yeah, so it was actually using the V12 from the 8 Series, the original 850i, which had the kind of big, bulky V12, which is actually what F1 used.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
So I guess BMW saw what McLaren did and was like, hey, we can get in on this.
Yeah.
So they only built one concept. It wasn't very well received. They released it and didn't get much traction.
This one was released?
So it was a concept. It wasn't like drivable or anything. And then BMW like kept it in, I guess, a museum or whatever manufacturers do. But it is rumored that the Sultan of Brunei saw this concept, was like, ooh, I want that. And then when BMW didn't go into production, he approached them and like they worked with a coach builder to build him this one-off kind of similar to this one. And that way he could have it for himself.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Damn, so he really liked this then, I guess. If he, that's insane. Like, he's just like, he's going out of his way to like approach these manufacturers, be like, listen, this one's sick. Like, or even like the custom built ones. Like, that takes a lot of time and effort too, even just to like go over to them and like figure out what they want and like how to do it and all that stuff. Like,
I'm guessing he has probably a team because he's probably busy running the country and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's a lot of effort and a lot of money because like for this, I'm sure the coach builder and BMW had to work together because when you build a concept, you don't care about the laws and drivability and all that because it's never going to drive.
Yeah.
But when you build a road going car, you need to worry about those things.
Exactly.
So yeah, I don't even want to know how much this was because probably $10 to $15 million is my guess to build this one-off car. And it doesn't even look that good. Let's be honest.
It looks very, very ordinary. It does look pretty sleek. It's better than the Bentley, but I mean, it's pretty surprising.
Yeah. The next one, this one's actually pretty cool. So it's the Ferrari FX.
Not the FXX, just FX.
Yeah, so this was before the Enzo. So the FXX didn't exist. And this one was built on the 512M, which kind of is the Testarossa. It's like the newer version of the Testarossa.
Yeah, you can kind of see it in the styling. I could see it.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, this one, brand new, like design, completely different. It kind of looks like less sporty than the 512 in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's more bulky, more curvy, and this one had complete one-off interior, and only 7 were produced, but this time only 4 made it to him, because the rumor is he was supposed to like buy all of them.
Yeah.
Paid for all 4 of them, and when it came to pay for the rest, he couldn't make it happen.
Really?
Yeah.
So he's already short on funds then.
Yeah. So this was probably pushing into the early 2000s. So this is kind of when money started to run dry. And what Ferrari was left with is 3 examples of, not knowing what to do with them. So they started to, reach potential buyers and stuff. And they made it to the hands around the world. It was still kind of kept a secret for a couple of years until about like 5 years ago. They started, one of them started appearing at like auction lots and, being photographed all over the place. And that's kind of when we were first introduced to this car.
That's crazy. So yeah, it made, like, how many years after it originally got released was that, do you think?
10 plus years.
That's insane.
Until like
so that long it kind of was a secret, more or less.
Yeah. So I don't know what the new owners had to sign with Ferrari or something, like an NDA, not disclosure, or something. Because it was never really a thing until initially people thought this was just like aftermarket.
Yeah.
And then like Ferrari had to come in and confirm, like, no, we built these cars ourselves. Like,
that's
this is
pretty
not
cool though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now the owner of the one that sold the auction is like bringing it to car shows, and we're kind of seeing for the first time a lot of people this car, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's sick. Honestly, the more we talk about the Sultan of Brunei, the more I'm convinced Ferrari's into some shady shit.
Yeah, kind of similar to one of our previous episodes, the Gumball episode.
Yeah.
Where the owner was like, kind of the guy running the company is kind of shady, and ended up being kidnapped and murdered for that.
Might happen to Enzo Ferrari. No, I'm just kidding.
I think he's too well connected, but
Probably.
I'm sure like a lot of backdoor stuff is happening, and
even just the fact that
deals.
you need to own cars in a certain order to like be able to afford certain cars. Like it's very dictator like as it is. So I mean, maybe he gets along with the Sultan of Brunei. He's also a dictator. So
probably that would make sense.
Yeah.
All right, diving into this one, I absolutely think it's disgusting.
Yeah.
The Bentley Buccaneer.
Yeah. You know what this reminds me of? That one Chevrolet car. It has like the front end. It kind of looks like a bug too. It reminds me like the rear end and like the body shape. And I don't know what the model's car, but it has like kind of like these buggy eyes and like a weird like V-shaped grill. I'll have to look it up afterwards, but it looks so much like that. It's like these weird little, like it has like the chrome wheels. I've seen it in blue before.
Is it like old?
Not super old, maybe like early 2000s, but yeah, we'll put a photo up on the screen here. I'll show you.
If you can remember, yeah. So this one, another like one-off coach-built car by Bentley. Again, only 6 units were built. I guess that's the minimum requirement, 6 or 7.
Yeah, to keep the cost somewhat reasonable.
Yeah, and apparently this is his favorite car. Out of all the cars he owns, like whatever 5,000 or however many cars he owns, this one is his favorite. And
interesting.
Which is kind of cool because he's actually driven it.
Yeah.
Only one of them.
One of the few.
Yeah. So 1 out of the 6 that were built, he drives. And he's actually been sighted like on public roads, driving around. And we don't know much about this one. We're, again, probably guessing that it's sharing an engine from another Flying Spur or another Bentley model, because the theme here is he doesn't seem to care much about performance. It's more the looks.
Yeah, and the comfort.
And being unique, because that's basically all they are, just revamped or rebodied cars.
Yeah, exactly.
This next one though, I found really, really interesting.
This looks sick.
So this is called the Ferrari F50 Bolide. Yeah, so it's an F50, again, just, rebodied.
Mm-hmm.
But this one is very, very interesting because there's no trace of it ever existing.
Really?
And yeah, so I don't know if Ferrari ever confirmed this one. I think they're still trying to stash it and hide it. And it's basically a F50, and he wanted to make it more like a race car, like vibes, like like you'd see on the track. So it's got a fixed rear wing and like bigger fenders and stuff, and smaller grille. It looks very bulky and kind of awkward in my opinion. Yeah,
definitely.
But there's no information about anything on it. Like, is it stock powered? Is it, it's like, what is it? How many numbers or anything like that?
Has it been changed that much or not?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. There's even like not that many pictures. I don't know if I've seen the front. The back looks weird.
Yeah.
But
also looks like it doesn't have taillights.
It does. It's just like the way the
glare.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it has taillights, but it's a weird car. This is another one I found interesting. So it's called the Aston Martin AM3.
That sounds cool too, actually.
Yeah, and this one. So this Aston Martin did the AM1, the AM2, AM3, and these were kind of specially designed cars to go to good clients of Aston Martin.
Yeah.
And they did this AM sequence to kind of build prototypes and see which one would be received the best.
Yeah.
And if I remember correctly, the AM2 was chosen, but the Sultan of Brunei really, really liked the AM3, and they weren't going to build it because they're building the AM2. So he approached Aston Martin and was like, look, I will buy 5 units, and 3 units. He said, I'll buy 3 units, build it for me, and that's what they did. They built 3 units specifically for him, while the other concept was sold to normal customers. And there's only like a few images of this thing.
Yeah.
It looks very, very strange. So it's a normal Aston Martin V8 Vantage, but the body has been redesigned, and they kind of cut the front where it's like a globe of like just carbon fiber.
Yeah, I see that. It looks weird. It looks like paint protection but black.
Yeah, and
it's kind of weird.
I don't know why they didn't do like the whole bumper. It's just like a bubble of carbon fiber.
It's the weirdest thing.
Same with the back. It's just like the back is just like a bubble of carbon fiber.
It looks like a Jag though to me, like the styling and like the long front end and stuff. Kind of reminds me of a Jag.
I can see that. Yeah, that was the old Aston Martin. Style back in the day. Yeah, and actually this one, there's a picture of it, this exact red on red spec, and the whole interior is just covered in mold.
Really?
It's disgusting.
Oh man.
So it's never been driven, never been seen, and is just molding away in some sort of warehouse.
So sad.
Yeah.
Damn.
So that's hopefully we'll get to see it, because there's no real existence of this car anywhere.
Yeah.
And I think it's a shame.
It's nice.
It's not the best looking car, but it's different.
It's rare, it's the rarity that makes it interesting sometimes.
Yeah. This one is actually a cool story. So this was the 456. So we've seen this. It wasn't the prettiest Ferrari or the most popular. It was just kind of the old times, I guess, the F12 or the 599, like, the big V12 up front and comfortable saloon.
Mm-hmm.
And Ferrari actually was approached by Sultan of Brunei and he said like, oh, I really like this car, but originally it only came in a 2-door coupe. So he's like, first of all, I want a roadster, and second of all, I want a sedan version, so a 4-door hatchback.
Yeah.
And they built it for him. So they built 7 units, and again, the suspicion is the same thing happened. He was going to buy all 7, but then ran out of funds, so he got 6 of them for himself, and then the last one that made it out has been trading hands around the world, and right now is owned by a UK collector who drives it like almost every day.
That's sick.
Which is insane.
That's such a flex.
Yeah, because like basically one of one. You're never gonna see the others.
Is one of one.
And I think, if I remember correctly, I got to see it in Monterey when I went.
Really?
2 years ago.
That's crazy.
But I don't know if that was the car or if I'm thinking about something else.
That'd be pretty cool to see a one of one, pretty much.
Yeah, but yeah, this one sold at auction for like 1.5 million a few years ago. So
pretty reasonable.
Pretty reasonable, yeah, because this car was not the, I guess, creme de la creme of Ferrari.
No,
it was slow.
Not. Even just looking at it, it's kind of bulky and not definitely Ferrari's best.
Yeah, it's like slow. It doesn't sound good. It's not that nice looking. So yeah, it's definitely a one-off, and I'm glad one of them has been like roaming around.
So we at least have the ability to maybe see this one, unlike a lot of the others we were looking at.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. This one is super weird.
Whoa, yeah, this is weird looking.
So this was never supposed to be a car. It was a...
Doesn't even look like... It looks like somewhere to sit. Like,
yeah.
What? You look at the wheels. It looks so weird.
Yeah, so this was just Ferrari. A lot of manufacturers do this. They just like kind of shoot the shit. And
like look at this.
Build a car to see what people think. So this was, again, built on the Ferrari Testarossa. And it was actually a concept released to the public. It was never supposed to be like in production, so it was just Ferrari flexing, I guess. Like, hey, look what you built.
Sounds about right.
But again, the Sultan, having a lot of money, decided he wanted one. So he reached out to Ferrari, was like, make it happen, build me an example. So they created two cars for him.
Okay.
And he owns both of them. Of course, they've never been seen again. Apparently, there's one red on red and then one white on red
Cool.
that he owns.
White would be cool, actually.
Yeah. I mean, that's my car, so it's
Of course, yeah.
white on red BMW, so that's a big fan of that. But the good thing is the concept that they built and released to the public has like traveled around the world and people can see it. So it's not like, we'll never see this car.
Okay.
It does exist.
It does come out sometimes.
Yeah. So I think it's owned by Ferrari or some museum, and they showcase it. So this one we're able to see.
Okay.
But not a good looking car.
Nope.
Well, yeah, 2 more exist, which is cool.
Yeah.
The last one, which is to me the craziest.
The most ridiculous and unnecessary.
Yeah. So this one, when he got married, obviously he wanted to make a big event, right?
Yeah.
So he gets a Rolls Royce Silver Spur, stretches it, and then covers it in real gold, 14 karat gold. The whole car, like everything, is covered in there, and the car itself is estimated, like with all the modification, estimated at $14 million.
That's correct.
It's just
Damn, must be some woman.
yeah, or he's compensated or something. Like that's the
only thing that makes sense, honestly. Like,
yeah,
or just like, there's too much money in my bank account, I gotta burn it on something.
and like just this alone kind of gets you in the mentality of this guy. Like,
Yeah.
he will spend months building this car, $14 million, just to drive down the road
Once.
and
then he probably just parks it.
yeah, and then that's it. That's the whole thing. So yeah, it's just crazy flex.
Unbelievable. Yeah, that's actually ridiculous.
And
Well, it's an insane collection. Even just going through these ones, but thinking that there's like almost like 2,500 to 7,000, like you said. Like there's not even like a good number on it, really.
yeah,
It's crazy.
and that's the thing that, like, we're speculating. Like, this is the stuff we have seen and has been released.
Yeah.
Like, what else would he own?
Yeah, even like concept cars are stuff that's never been seen before.
Yeah, exactly. Because we don't know. Maybe Porsche, maybe Lamborghini, or Pagani, Koenigsegg.
Yeah.
Maybe they built one-off cars.
Maybe there's a
for him.
brand we don't even know of.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's until we see the full extent of the collection and like a whole documentary
Sure, it'll
covering
come one
everything. I would hope so.
Yeah. Maybe when he passes away or something, or maybe his heir will want to sell it off the collection or something. You never know. But honestly, it's as good as guessing at what's on the bottom of the ocean. Like we've no idea.
Yeah. So yeah, it's interesting. The good thing is, I guess they're running out of money.
Yeah.
Because they've been slowly starting to sell cars out of the collection. Mostly cars that we don't really care about, like Ferrari.
Yeah.
Like, I guess base model, if that's a thing for a Ferrari, Rolls Royce, Bentleys and stuff. But there's a couple interesting ones, including an F40. But this was like a special edition F40. So, here's the story. Ferrari builds the F40. It only comes in one spec.
Yep.
Red exterior with red bucket seats. And you couldn't change anything unless you repainted it.
Mm.
And then if you did, Ferrari would probably find out and then blacklist you from buying new Ferraris.
Okay. Interesting.
And for many years, this was the case.
Yeah.
People were scared of like wrapping or changing the color of the Ferraris.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Sultan of Brunei sells one of his cars. And it turns out his was modified by Ferrari themselves. So it was painted matte gray with a red stripe on the exterior.
That looks nice, though.
And like a nice comfy interior, like not bucket seats.
Oh, shit.
And Ferrari kind of had to like, change their word, because for years they were telling customers like, oh no, you can't change it. Like,
Hey,
this
money
this
talks.
is how.
Money talks.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
So,
unreal.
yeah, it's been kind of a controversy around the world.
That's insane.
Ferrari F40 owners, and it's now I think owned by someone in the UK. So it's,
Losing respect for Ferrari by the day.
if you come with a big enough paycheck, they will do anything.
But it's like you don't even want to bring your money to them anymore. It's like we're just crooked. It's messed up.
Yeah,
Man.
yeah, exactly. And yeah, like I'm curious to see what happens with this car collection, because within just a couple years we learned so many things, and this kind of blew up. I'm curious to see what else comes out of it, or what other cars he owns or sells. So yeah, that's what I have. There's
Crazy.
a link we're gonna share, just like kind of a huge overview of like never seen before pictures, and just giving a picture of his collection.
Yeah, give a good scroll through this, because this is good stuff. Like seeing all the like inside scoop, really.
Yeah.
It's all like Instagram photos, I believe, of like someone who actually went into their collection and took photos.
So it's like posted on Instagram, but old pictures. Like a lot of them are dated like 2001 and stuff. So someone had access to this collection 20 something years ago and was like using probably an old disposable camera.
Yeah, it looks like it.
And got to see just some of the warehouses, not every single warehouse, but like we see here, this is the F1 GT, which one of three. Another F1.
Unbelievable, the color coordination too.
Yeah, with
that looks so nice still though.
So yeah, some of them are being taken care of, which is good to know. F1 LM, EB10, but like this is just
unbelievable. Yeah,
we're looking at 40 something Jag XK. Just
it's freaking
why?
Crazy. No point here.
Yeah, and then just like the same car, yellow on yellow, and like why you just need one. You can't drive both.
It's not even necessary. It's got to be.
Yeah, and then some rotting Ferraris. The thing I found interesting though is there's not that many Lamborghinis.
No, I noticed that too.
Like
we saw like a Countach, we saw like one Murcielago, I think, in one of the photos, and that's pretty much it. He's definitely a big Ferrari guy, and he's definitely a big Bentley guy.
Yeah. A car with a bunch of mold
and just like mildew building up.
This is the SF90.
Ooh, that looks sick.
F90.
Yeah, the F90. I never actually saw a real photo of it. That looks really cool, actually.
Yeah.
All the Mercedes there.
This was another one-off Bentley.
So weird.
Usually it was four-door. This is an estate.
Crazy.
Yeah. Another one. So this is the 456, and he made it into sedan, four-door.
So weird.
Probably same deal. Like he had to buy 7 of them.
Probably.
Yeah, it's just like so crazy. Like the amount of power and money this guy has to get essentially like bring Ferrari to their knees, and like he gets to do whatever he wants.
It's like, please give us your business, like spread a good word about our cars, whatever. But then again, it's not even spreading a good word. He held completely silent about it.
Yeah. They just wanted his paychecks.
Yeah. All right, crazy story though. Wow, that was a pretty cool one, and probably one people haven't really heard of before. So this is a great one. Anything you want to add about this collection, or about Sultan of Brunei, or any thoughts?
Not really. This is a crazy story, and we'll keep you guys informed if anything.
Yeah, we might have to do an updated one if there's like if there's a whole video that comes out of the collection, or if something else sells off, we might have to do that in passing. But yeah, all right, sweet. So that was episode 22, you guys. Tune in next week for episode 23 where we talk about our dream garages.
Yeah, I can't wait for that one.
All right, I'll see you guys later.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.